Andrea is unlike anyone I've ever met or heard. Sure, you can hear certain aspects of other voices or styles in her, but it's impossible to deny that this incredible woman just does things in a different way. Everything is different with her. Her style is understated. Her vocals are understated. Maybe that's not only her normalcy, but when coupled with the complex music her band Mobius creates, perhaps it's required. Heli and I had a wonderful chat on musical style and relevance, and the challenge of living a unique life in a ubiquitous and noisy world. Her music is best felt when listened to. It's about the voice as a musical instrument, not something that stands alone. She is part of a unit, a real group. Mobius is special because, well, what they're doing can't be explained easily, because it's never been done. It's just Mobius. Mark my words, it's really groundbreaking. Our interview did have one tiny moment where her phone died, but we charged it back up to finish the show, and I think we ended well. All of this to say, please take a moment out of your day and listen to her great band Mobius, or any of her side projects, and just take in the plaintive voice of this epic woman. This is my interview with a thoughtful and kind soul, the groundbreaking Heli Andrea, on the Rockstar Superhero Podcast. Thank you so much, Heli, for being here on the show. I'm really, really honored. I love what you do. I think it is beautiful and ethereal, and there's this wandering spirit about you, this feeling that's really remarkable and unmistakable and uniquely yours. And what I wanted to ask you right off the bat is, the way you sing and the way you approach music seems like you're confronting a spirit. And I don't know if anybody's ever said this to you, but it's quiet and playful, but it's also, there's a challenge to like the underworld. There's this dark quality to it that I find really fascinating, and I couldn't wait to ask what you thought. So tell me about your voice.
Thank you so much. First, I'm really happy that it inspires you so many images and this cool thing. I've heard that already, probably because I have a touch of Carnatic Indian vocals and different types of voices, which can be, religious, sometimes spiritual a bit, like on the album of Mobius, for instance, sometimes I sing in Sanskrit, and it can be really like possessed a bit, because the voice is really, I'm not screaming, I'm not singing a melody, I'm just speaking words which are really strong. And maybe there is something spiritual in it. I'm not really personally in any religion. But to me, singing is a bit my religion. I mean, it's a way to me to focus, to be centered on myself, to be zen, to be happy, and it's a way to be true. Because to me, in the everyday life, you play a part a bit. You have to be polite. You have to be on time. You have to be this and that at work. And when you sing, you're just free. And you can be anyone you want. You can be anything you want. You're just honest. So it's maybe the place where I can be myself and where I can be, spiritual, maybe. So,
yeah.
I'm really happy that inspires you this feeling. By the way, sorry for my English. Sometimes I'm a bit.
No, it's fantastic.
Okay, super.
The only thing I can remember in French is I took a class in high school and I had to learn how to say, je m'appelle Robert, right? I was like, let's see, what was the bonjour Guy, bonjour Michel, ça va? Oui, ça va, et toi? Pas mal. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Awesome. Your accent is great, just so you know. Really good.
I just need to practice it. Do you recognize the enchantment of your voice? Do you know what I mean by this?
I think I do, but the thing is, since it's my voice, um, I don't hear it the same way as you do. You know, I grew up with it. I was born with it. I just, you know, I don't hear it like the others do. And probably it's the same for you. You record shows and so on, and I'm pretty sure that the first time you heard your own voice recorded, you could, yeah, it's the reaction that everybody has, even me. When I heard myself the first time, I was really like, is it me? That's weird. That's ugly. That's not me. And there is
Yeah.
this reject reflex, you know, and it's just because we don't hear our own voice the way people around hear it. And
Yeah.
so the enchantment you talk about, I don't know. I'm just with myself. So
No, that's fair. When I found out I was going to have a chance to speak with you, of course, I went and looked through a lot of your back catalog on YouTube and listened to as much music as I could. And one thing I notice, and I get it because it's a video, so you're kind of acting, but I felt like your performances in the videos were how you are in real life, that there is a focus on the internal as you're singing, very much like what Kate Bush does.
okay.
And I hope that's a compliment because I love Kate Bush.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Um, I recognize what, I mean, I understand what you mean. And now you say it, I agree. I'm really with myself. And that's probably why most of the time when I sing with closed eyes. I noticed that a few weeks ago. I checked all my thumbnails and I realized that I'm always like
Yeah.
singing with the hands. I always have something with my hands, like, as if I was singing like with my hands, and
Hmm.
also always the eyes closed. And I don't know. I like you say, when we are in a video, we play a character a bit, um, but when I'm singing, it's like, okay, I put the character on the side, and the character is the everyday life social Ellie, you know. But when I sing, I'm just me, and that's uh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine you have a lot of people tell you who you sound like. In other words, most people never really say, that sounds like Ellie. It's more like, oh, that sounds like Kate Bush, right? What I just said, or the Cocteau Twins, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
whatever they hear. When I hear influences in your voice, and I'm making big assumptions, but I do hear Cocteau Twins and Kate Bush, but what I really hear is Sade and Swing Out Sister. And I don't know if you are familiar in, because of course I don't know how old you are and I'm not going to ask, but in 1988 or 89, there was a band that came out from the UK called Swing Out Sister, and they had a
Mm-hmm.
song called Breakout. And your voice reminds me of hers. It's not vibrato heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's plaintive, and the note is very straight. So, do you know the song that "Don't start to ask, na 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 na, make it last"? I know I'm
I
embarrassing myself, but
No, not at all. It was nice. Thank you. Um, I don't know this song, but
it's okay.
probably I heard it. If it's a big hit, probably I heard it already.
Yeah.
But after our call, I will check.
Okay.
Just have a
Well,
listen.
I think what happens with influence is people like me assume that because they recognize something you do and what they've heard in the past, that must be your influence. So let
Mm.
me ask you then, what famous voices helped you find yours?
Um, eh ben, let me think. First, most of the time, what I heard was, "Hey, you sound a bit like Dead Can Dance or Eivor a bit."
Mm,
Or vocalist, traditional vocalist like that.
Okay.
But actually, I grew up with music which was not in the mainstream music. I heard a lot of tradition music from Himalaya or from Pakistan, India, of course,
Yeah.
and Native America songs also,
Hmm.
because my mother was just a big fan of world music, and we had that at home. I also heard some lyrical and classical voices, which I also study and I sing. So I don't have like one band or one vocalist who really inspired me to develop my vocals. Um, I just took a bit of many things, and yeah, it grew like that. But now I released a few albums, two albums with Mobius, and a few demos and a few songs. People
Hmm.
tell me, "Hey, you sound like her or like her." So I discover those famous musicians. You know, I discover them after. So that's really cool. Like Dead Can Dance. I didn't know it before 2 years ago. I discovered
Yeah.
that 2 years ago approximately. So I was, wow, such a big surprise. But what I discovered is also that Dead Can Dance listens to a lot of world music, which I did also. So I recognize, you know, same influences from them, from me, you know. Anyway, I'm uh, I'm rambling, but yeah, I don't have one vocalist. But what I can say is that there is one vocalist who is kind of really different from me, doesn't have the same voice as me at all, but who inspired me to really work on my vocals and to become a metal vocalist. It's Simon Simons from Epica, so
Mm-hmm.
metal symphonic metal band.
Hmm.
And she was singing in lyrical, but also pop a bit, and it was with this heavy metal music in the back. So that's how I discovered metal, kinda, and I was really like, wow, it's so powerful, but also so melodic. So I
Yeah.
wanted to sing and so on the songs of Epica. So I was a shy teenager in my room, hiding from the world. I didn't want anyone to listen to me, and yeah, I worked on that, and I wanted a bit to sing like her, because when you begin to sing or when you begin to play an instrument, you just want to play like your
Yeah.
idol, or you know, it's normal. And and at a point, I realized that, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not good enough. That was my conclusion. Like, I'm not good enough. I will never sing as good as her, or like him, or like you know. So I gave up, and I began to do my weird things, like well, a bit of lyrical, a bit of pop, a bit of weird growl, a bit of Mongolian weird things, and I began to explore, and then it's when I gave up the idea to become as good as this one
Mm.
that I began really to find my own voice, I think, if it makes
Mm.
sense.
It absolutely makes sense, especially with the style of music and the influences you said your mother helped you with, right? I think it's wonderful that you had such a diverse musical palette to draw from, and it's a lot more rare, sadly, than it should be. I think most people, they grow up, with what their parents are listening to typically, and I did as well. But I think both you and I are examples of people who, our parents had a big palette. They had
Mm.
very many different styles that they liked, but that also encouraged us to go find what turned us on, so to speak, right? And everything from gospel to heavy metal, it's all really fascinating. I think what makes you really special is that you have decided to not try to copy, as you
Mm.
mentioned, Simone from Epica, but to be you, to figure yourself out. And when you play with a band like Mobius, or when you do the other projects you're a part of, they are all so unique and disparate that the sounds are very, very different, is maybe the best way to put it. it forces your voice to be an instrument rather than the focus of the song, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I'm really happy that you say it, because in the mixing and in the composition, the arrangements, the mixing, and so on, it's really something I try to focus on. It's that the voice is, to me, of course, a particular instrument. Of course, every instrument is particular. If there is a guitarist listening to that, it will be like, eh! No, every instrument is really unique and particular. But what I mean is each voice is unique, depending how you were born, so physically how you're made, how you grew up, if you're self-confident or a bit shy, or if you're stressed, if you're tired, your path as a musician or not, and so on. It's every voice is really unique, and everybody can sing, and everybody has a vocal treasures. It's not like vocalists are Diven, I don't know what. When I was younger, I thought that like there are people who can sing and there are people like what. And actually, no, I think everybody has a lot of richness in the voice, but you just have to explore it and to be patient and kind with yourself. Like, okay, doesn't work like that. You take your time, you improve, and so on. You explore. And I think, the thing you said about I don't want to copy. At first, I wanted to. It was also a way to learn. But then I gave up, not because I was like, okay, I will find my own identity, but because it was useless. I understood that I won't, I really felt like it won't work. I won't be Simon's piece. And then with the years and so on, I thought, but it's useless to be another Simon's anyway. So let's try crazy things. But I forgot the question completely. I'm getting lost.
No.
But yes, an instrument. Yes, the voice is particular, but it's also behind the words and the lyrics and so on. First, it's it's an instrument. You can do plenty of things with it. And okay, I will take this example. During the first containment, the first lockdown in France last year, I made a project with Adam Janzi, who is the drummer of Vola. And
Yes.
everybody was locked down, so no way to meet the bands, to play, and so on. So we decided, like, hey, it's the opportunity to make a crazy thing. Let's make a duet. Let's make a metal cover, but without any metal instrument. So we'll see how it goes. And we had no idea how about it would turn. And in the end, it turned out to be a very interesting way to use my vocals. I sang some parts in the songs which were guitars. I sang some keyboards. So I was just doing some weird things like, okay, the guitar sounds meow, meow, meow. So I did that. And then, yeah. Then I did that. But I just explored, and it was really funny. So in that project, voice is really an instrument. It plays the guitar, it plays the keyboard, and so on. And I love using the voice like that. So you have the voice which is instrument, and you have the voice which is the words, the spoken voice. So I play with both, and I made many songs without any lyrics, just instruments.
Yeah. And that was the project called Odd Covers, correct?
Exactly. Yes, because we didn't know how to call it, and we said it's covers, but it's weird. Weird covers. It was a bit so odd sound cool.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. And it actually, when I listened to that, that's what made me think of Kate Bush, because Kate Bush, especially in the early 1980s, she was doing music where she was doing animal sounds. I don't know if you've ever listened to an album of hers called The Dreaming, but
No, but I will.
absolutely, please look it up. There's an album called The Dreaming. I want to say it came out in 82 or 83. She was 25 years old when she did it, and it is an absolute masterpiece of sound and effect and weirdness and oddness and beauty and dissonance, and it's violent and lovely and scary and sweet and weird. It's just weird, but it's so powerful. You know what I mean? And I tell you, Ellie, you may not have been influenced by her, but I love the idea that as you increase in your skills and other people discover you, that you will be the influencer of your generation. I really believe that. There's something really, really beautiful and intangible about what you do. I don't say this out loud. I just wouldn't say it. So it's really good.
That's very wow. Thank you. I will definitely listen to this album after. I want to hear those animal sounds, just so you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I can give some ideas to others, enjoy
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes the animal sounds, I just think about it. You know, when you're a kid, sometimes you just try to imitate the cat or imitate the dog or things like that. And then it creates so many weird sounds. And imitating the cat, for instance, if you do it really in the nose, really high, you can really develop like the diphonic vocals, you know,
Yeah.
like all the harmonics of the, if you do things like that,
Yeah.
you can really use a weird voice, which I love. I love using this voice because it's powerful with no effort and it's really weird. Yeah, you can. I encourage everyone to do the animal sounds and to explore the voice like that. It's really funny.
You know, what makes you, I know I sound like I'm praising you a lot, and I am, but here's the thing. When you have, and I know people are going to hear this and they're going to roll their eyes with what I'm about to say. They're going to say, oh, come on. But here's the thing. It takes courage to do what you're doing because it's not been done. People don't necessarily know how to respond when music challenges them or causes them to listen to it in a way that isn't reactive. Most of the time, people put the music on to hear in the background. You know, they're doing something, they're having dinner or talking to friends at a party. But your music, and I mean, I would say that Mobius in particular, because of the kind of music it is, the challenge of it, and I want to talk about this, is it forces you to stop what you're doing and pay attention. And your voice really, really is the keystone, is the focus of that. And I just wanted to say, stick with the bravery, because I know that has to be challenging at times. I imagine people tell you, why don't you do this or that? Or do they just say, wow, that's fascinating?
Wow, both. Thanks. Yeah, about Mobius, you're right. It's not a song that you can, if you just put it in the background like that, Kala album, for instance, you just put it in, just play it in the background, you will be maybe a bit annoyed, like it's a bit, you know, technical and so on. So when you are in a party, you just want to chill and talk, and you don't put that in the background because it's a bit too particular. But if you listen to it like a bit, you give a bit of attention, then you can, if you like the style, of course, you can really go into it and let you drive by this. And about my voice, I heard that, yes, that in Mobius you have the instrumental, which is very rich and kind of technical sometimes, but my voice is a door, a simple door, you know, like I don't
Wow.
scream, I don't growl, it's melodic, it's light vocals, so it not light, clean vocals, sorry.
Yes,
It's clean
that's
vocals, so
it's good.
yeah. So yeah, you can, it's a bit more popular, you know, so you can go into the music with it. And I'm very happy of it because that's a bit the challenge with Mobius. I think the vocals and the keyboards, the big work of my keyboardist, are really the doors to make it more popular, more easy
Accessible.
listening. Accessible, thank you. Exactly. If we really work on that in the arrangements to make it accessible to anyone, because progressive metal is such a complicated genre for people who don't know it. They can be a bit lost and so on. So we want to try to do something that everybody can listen to. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. You mentioned your mother listened to a lot of different styles, world music. Was she a big influence on you as a musician personally?
I'm not from a musician's family. There is no one in my family singing or playing an instrument. But she's a big influence in terms of my musical landscape. I really grew up with world music, but later she began to listen to new metal, like Linkin Park and
Wow.
Limp Bizkit and System of a Down. She
Wow.
listened to yes, it was her, not me.
She's cool.
She's really cool. She's really cool. One day I went to a show with her just to enjoy a rap concert,
Wow.
and I was holding the bag, the tickets, and I I I look somewhere, and my mom was already at the first, just at the
Yeah.
basis of the stage, and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Mommy, it's a rap concert, but okay." So she's really cooler than me, and but yeah,
That's
I have
fascinating.
I'm very lucky about that. I don't have a musician family, but she really influenced me about all of
Nice.
this listening, world music, jazz music, classical music, rap, R&B. It was thanks to her. So voilà,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. May I ask you a question about lyrics?
Sure.
Well, okay. So so let me tell you why I'm asking. I have never been a person that listens to the words. Never. I just don't. I'm a drummer, and so I'm drawn to rhythms and textures, which is why I notice your voice doing what it's doing, because I'm listening to it as an instrument versus the words you're saying. But obviously there are words. And when you write those words, is it you alone that writes them, or does the band write with you? Mobius, I guess I'm referring to right now.
No, alone.
Okay. So here's a question then. Are you building a story for the listener, or are you seeking a way to explain how you fit in the story?
That's a nice question. First, I think you will like my answer because you're a drummer. So, when I write lyrics, first, it's not the lyrics I write. Every time when I compose the vocals on a song, I don't write lyrics and then I try to put them in notes. I sing some yogurt words, and then after I try to take text and to put it in the vocals.
Oh,
So the first demos of Mobius, all the time, what they receive when we have to make a demo, it's always a where's where the can stand around, yeah, finest put it down. Voilà, no lyrics,
right,
it's ridiculous.
right,
But they
right.
have a big imagination, so that's cool. And after, I on the side, I write keywords and words I like. I like their musicality. It was really interesting to work with Sanskrit, for instance. Oh, I like this word, I like this ones, etc. But really the musicality of words. And after, I pick the ones which make sense with the ambience of the song, and the real lyrics come at the end, really at the end. It's musical, not musical. It's music and it's rhythm before the rest. And sometimes to have a good flow with the rhythm, because if I think like, okay, this verse, it's a bit boring. It's always la 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 la. If I want to do ta 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 instead, I will try to pick many words to put them in between and to have the right number of, to have a good rhythm. So that's why I say you're a drummer, but I think
Yeah.
the way I compose the vocals sometimes is a bit a drummer thing also, and so it's like that. And about the story, I never say. The story, it's I never talk about a character growing up or going to an adventure, etc.
Mm.
It's more a mood, an ambience, poetic things. And to me, it makes sense, but it's always opened enough so everybody can see their own images in it, you know. So it's never really, really precise. For me,
Mm.
I have my own interpretation of it. It means something very strong for me, but it's not like, okay, guys, I tell you my life. No, yeah, it's always a bit open.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, I kind of got that, but I wanted to make sure I was right.
Well done,
So
well done.
yeah, well, that hearing that the rhythm seems to be the primary focus, which is true, and that's wonderful, and that's again what makes the band so unique. I had read in an article that a few of your members are from Reunion Island. And I actually don't know much about Reunion Island outside of, I think it's in the Indian Ocean out by
Yes,
Madagascar. Is it
exactly.
is it a
Yes,
French colony? What's the
exactly. Yes,
okay.
it has been a French colony. Now it's yes, it's still French. And yes, you have Madagascar, Réunion Island, and Mauritius, which is just next door. And
Mhm.
we also have our guitarist who is from Mauritius. So
Wow.
yeah, big influence from there.
Yeah, yeah. So when you mention Sanskrit, is that a key component to the island nations, or is that a fascination you have yourself?
It was when we began to talk about the second album, Kala, we thought that we needed to, because we have plenty of influences. We can go in many different directions, but we
Yeah.
wanted something coherent and strong. And we decided to create a frame. Okay, guys, we will play. Okay, but this is the limits. Okay, and what they wanted to do, it was the idea of Adrien, our drummer, who is coming from this island. He wanted some Indian and Asian influences, and it's also a big influence on the Réunion Island, the Indian
Mm.
culture, because this island is really mixed. There is a very mixed population there from Africa, Madagascar, France, and India, south of India. So it was logical, and also Asia, China, and so on. So it's really mixed, and it was a volunteer from him to put this influences in this album. And to me, since I grew up with Indian and Pakistani music, it was also linked to me from another side. I didn't grow up on the Réunion Island,
Wow.
but I also heard a lot of music from there. So for them and for me, it made sense, and it was also a nice challenge. Like, okay, we don't play the sitar, we don't play the tabla, we never composed konokol in our life, but we took the time during maybe 2 years to really dig into this culture, to read. Personally, I read a lot about the religious part, etc. And very quickly, I discovered that I wanted to sing a bit in Sanskrit and in Tamil, which is another language from there, because first it made sense. Secondly, it has to me, a huge charm. It adds so much charm to this album. And also, it's another way to use the voice. It has different ways to pronounce. You use different resonances, and yeah. So for all these reasons, we went into that. And I just say something more about it. It was a real surprise, but a real something I did in my life. I said, I can say, okay, this I did. It's working with musicians from there to write some lyrics in Tamil and in Sanskrit. And so we made some Skypes. They helped me to pronounce. They helped me with the the meaning of the words, because every word in Sanskrit is a big concept.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I didn't want to be like, well, Sanskrit looks very cool. I'm a
Yeah.
European who knows nothing. Allez, hop, I take it. No, I really wanted to be as respectful as possible. So it was a very nice moment I had with them working on that.
Yeah. No, That's a wonderful story. And it shows your personality, because what I found about you on the things I've seen, and then having this conversation with you today, is you're very thoughtful, and you're very, I don't want to say literal, that's not necessarily the right word, but you have a very, very direct way of being and expecting. And at the same time, there's this lightness to you. It makes complete sense. And I'm curious, how many languages do you speak? You speak English and obviously French. And do you have a working knowledge of these other languages from your bands?
Mhm. Well, I speak French and English, and that's
Okay.
all.
Okay.
I speak a bit of Italian, okay.
Mhm.
I know a few words in German, that's all. But I sung in Swedish, in Mongolian, in Sanskrit, in Tamil, a bit in
Wow.
Creole from the Reunion Island. I really like singing in different languages, but that doesn't mean that I speak those
I
languages.
understand.
I
Yeah.
would love to do that, but no, I don't, unfortunately. Maybe one
Yeah.
day, I hope.
No, that's wonderful. Mobius is such a band of shade and colors. There's so many different tones that it's almost a genre defying band. It's not just genre bending, but it's like you sound like you. It's the first time I've heard a band ever in my life sound just like themselves. And it's actually really hard for me to explain how it makes me feel, but it's even harder for me to explain it to somebody that I want to listen to it outside of just trust me and listen to it. And so this is not a religious question, but what I find interesting is you, with your influences, your family, the things your mother listened to, the things you love, and these other people from these islands have found each other, and you're a perfect fit. You make complete sense, and your music makes sense of your sense. It's not a question as much as, how do you think that happens? How is that? Is that an accident? Is that on purpose? How does that happen?
First, it's as musicians, it's probably the best compliment we can ever hear. Like, you sound like yours, you, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's so.
Mm.
Thank you very much. It means a lot, really.
You're welcome.
So how we met, I think it's funny because we all live around Lyon. We stay around Lyon, so I think it's mostly because we want to continue Mobius and to do our things and to meet each other. But none of us come from Lyon. We are really from different countries, different parts of France and so on. And we just met here, and that's already something. Our path of each of us brought us here, and that's kind of cool. About this chemical thing which works, to me, I would say that if you are in an environment with people who makes you feel at ease and makes you feel confident, and if you are open-minded to the ideas of each other, and of course, obviously, you like the ideas of each other, it works. I was very shy when I began to sing, and at the beginning of Mobius, I was very shy, very I didn't dare to do all this crazy stuff. Didn't dare to explore ideas or even to jump a bit on stage and to move weirdly. I didn't feel like, okay, let's go. No, I was really not someone like super self-confident, not at all. But with them, little by little, they made me feel really at ease. And every time I proposed something, they were opened to the idea like, okay, Mongolian vocals? Try on, try. And probably because they really love progressive metal, and they listen to different styles of music also. They listen to a lot of hip hop, metal, obviously, but a bit of baroque music for some of them, jazz, and of course Maloya, Sega, which is from the Iranian island. So they are already open to the ideas, and as long as you are as long as you accept the idea that you have no idea how your
Yeah.
music will sound like,
Yeah.
that's okay. And you can be creative altogether. If you are looking for a special result, like we have to sound like that, then you break all the possibilities and you know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's perfect. That is a perfect way to put it. Well, it's very important that you think this way. It shows your maturity. There are so many bands that are strictly looking to emulate or to get famous or to, to be a celebrity, to make money. And I admit, even I was caught up in that because I'm much older than you. So when I was pursuing my career in music, it was, how can I get famous? How can I get heard? Because the ability to get your music out was so limited. Nowadays, we have all these different social media platforms, and that's how you and I have connected, right? Because we have a mutual friend, in Adam Janzi, and he had recommended I speak to you and listen to your lovely music, and I
Thank
did,
you,
and I
Adam.
was just like, oh my goodness, I have to talk to her.
Awesome.
So yeah, I just find it really fascinating that you're so. This is going to be embarrassing, but pure. You seem to be a pure artist, and I hope you take that the right way.
I do. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, I had this thought also. I think we all do. I don't know at what genre you were as a drummer. Were you into metal and so on, or were you more into pop?
I primarily am into what I would call technical, or excuse me, industrial metal, like Nine Inch Nails, that sort of, where you're drumming along with programs and adding.
Okay.
It's a flavor to the rhythm of the synthesizers. I love that kind of stuff.
Me too. Okay. So first, we do progressive metal. So if you want to live thanks to it and to be rich and very famous thanks to it, it's a bit complicated. It's
Yeah.
not the best choice. So when you do progressive metal, first you think it's not to become extra famous.
Right.
You do it because you love it, I think. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't have the thought of I want to be famous or I want to be rich, but I had the thought of I would like to be recognized for myself. I had this question of this issue in my mind always when I began. I am a girl in metal. It's stupid what I'm going to say, but do I have to wear a corset? You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
It was yes, it was really a big question. Of course, it was not the corset, but it's more what it symbolizes. Okay, I will be. There will be something on my front head. She's a girl in metal. It's a metal fronted metal women fronted band, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that we were only seen, that we would be only seen like that. It was really a fear to me, like, and it was so important, this thought to me. I didn't want to be recognized just because I was a woman. um, I didn't want that. So it was so important. And on Facebook, when we released the first demo, I had a fake account with a guy name and a fake picture or something. And the first pictures of the band, you couldn't see my face, you couldn't see the face of anyone. We were just shadows with the light behind.
Yeah.
And okay, so guys, hello, this is our music. That's all. That was when we released the demo. It was really like that, like, this is the music, and we wanted to be heard for what we did only. And I was so stressed the first time the music was out. I was like, oh la la, I hope people will like it, or I hope it's okay, and hope I'm not bad, and so on. And then I had a few good feedback, and then I took confidence. The band encouraged me, and so on. So after I took self-confidence, and now I don't care anymore. I'm just
Yeah.
me, and that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm rambling again. I'm far away
No, it's
from the.
okay. It's
But yeah,
okay.
but yeah, I wanted the most important for me was really to be recognized for what I can do, what I want to do, what I want to express, and not okay, I have plenty of views, plenty of likes, plenty of money, and so on. But is it because I'm extra beautiful, or is it because, you never know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was more important to me to just do what I love, and if people love it, that's awesome. If not, too bad.
And we're back. Technical difficulties aside, what I wanted to comment on, because you had just said it, was it has to be very, very difficult to be a woman in this industry. You had mentioned, the maybe the need or the feeling that you should wear a corset, or that there should be some way to take advantage of, your looks or your femininity. And of course, I have no idea how that feels, but you've made a very bold statement because of who you are. You continue to be an artist and a musician. And again, this isn't a question as much as it is a statement. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with those sorts of questions or expectations all the time when a man doesn't have to do that. But I applaud you for being, again, the brave woman that says, this is what I choose to do, despite social expectations. And you hold true to yourself as an artist. And I think that is a really wonderful thing. And if anything, it's why I wanted you on the show, because I could tell you were not caught up in what the world expects. You choose your own path, and that's bold.
Thank you very much. About this, I thought about it a lot, and I think there is one answer per person. Every woman lives a different experience, so I will share only mine. I, of course, had some people telling me, maybe you should do that or do this, but it was really a few. It was really a few people, like really, I don't know, a few people, not many, many, many. Most of the people I met, and most of the musicians and guys I met, because in metal it's, of course, a majority of guys, they didn't make me feel like I had to change something, or I should be more sexy, or less this or less that. I've been well welcomed, and I never felt big harassment or anything like that. Um, but I would say that there is a social pressure, which is coming from both sides, I would say. Uh, like, you have a few guys around me. I had a few guys telling me, maybe if you do that, you will have more views, or, but it's really rare. But what I've seen is many girls who play on it a lot, and it looks like it works. So, of course, you think, if I don't do that, it will not work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So the pressure comes from different parts, and also from the side of women sometimes. And I think it's not a matter of. I've been through many different steps. I thought I should hide my body. I should hide myself. Then no, I shouldn't hide myself, but I should be neutral as possible. Then no, I should be like a guy. No, I should be this or that. I had so many mindsets. Like, there is no solution. And in the end, I think that I can wear a lot of makeup. I can be very, a crop top, etc. It's just the only thing is that I have to do that to be happy with myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't do that to expect the others to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you just do the things for yourself, it's great. And doesn't matter how you dress, doesn't matter if you're half naked on stage, or if you take super hot pictures and so on. Doesn't matter. If it's for you, then it's fine, and that's all. If it's to expect a number of views or something, then it's sad, because you will never know if it's for what you do or for how you look. That's
Yeah.
my own. But I've heard, yeah, it's very hard to be a woman in metal or in music. I don't think so. When you understand what you want to do, you just get rid of it, and you're free.
Yeah.
And I was my main enemy at first. I felt really bad and I had many questions because of the images I saw on the sides. And when I saw Simon Simmons at first, I thought I will never be able to sing as good as her. But I also thought I will never be able to be as beautiful as her, etc.,
Oh,
etc. And just be yourself. Just give
yeah.
up. Be like me. Give up. That's the best way.
Yeah. No, it's a great way to put it. You know, in America, we use the term jump off the cliff. And
Ah, yes.
basically, right, it meaning just jump, just be you, because your audience will find you. They're looking for something different. There's always, and here's the thing, if it's people like you and I who listen to so many different styles of music, we're going to find you anyway, because we're not caught up in just one genre. We're going to be looking for you because a band like Mobius, and specifically a voice like yours, draws attention because it feels radical. And that's important. So I love that.
Thank you.
My last question for you is, when Kala was released, that was almost a year ago, if I remember correctly. How was the reception? Because the music is so deep and complex, and I wonder if it's hard for people to grasp at times. And two, where does the band go from here?
You mean what's next?
Yeah,
You mean?
what's next? What's the
Okay.
direction? Yeah.
So the reception was so it was out on February last year, so just a bit more than a year ago.
Okay.
On stage, unfortunately, we played it only once in Lyon, but after COVID, lockdown, and so on, so it didn't live on stage. Unfortunately, not yet. We hope as soon as possible we will do it. But people just enjoy it a lot. They still discover it. They are still discovering it again now. Some few, how to say that? I'm losing my English. New people discover it still now, and we had great reception with the audience, with the medias. We had very curious people who were really digging in the album and asking many questions and interested in the concepts, in the instruments, in the roots of the band and so on. It was really a big happiness to us. We are really proud of it, and we are truly happy to share that with people. We are just a bit sad that we don't play on tour yet.
Yeah.
And where we are going now, we are actually, in a few days, we have a meeting with the band to define the new frame for the next album, and we have 2 ideas, but I'm not allowed to say.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, because we like also the surprises.
Yeah.
We like being like, hey, this is the direction we take, but we have new challenges in music. Of course, we like to challenge ourselves and to go into other languages, for me, into other types of voices. So I'm exploring it now. So that's really exciting.
Good. Well, thank you for taking this time today. Obviously, we had a little tiny technical glitch that we saved it, so we're
So
good.
sorry about
No, it's not.
Thank
It's
you.
just, it's what happens. But it's been an absolute honor to meet you.
Honor too.
It's been an honor to listen to your music. It's been an honor to be challenged by where you're going. And I will tell you, I've become known as this guy who sort of praises and praises and praises. But the truth is, I'm a real jerk and I don't praise things I don't like. So thank you for being extraordinary and having the courage to stay in the middle of who you are, to not lose sight of that. And my prayer for you is of utmost success and utmost happiness, and that you leave the legacy that I know you're meant to leave, because there just really is something very, very special about what you're doing and who you are. So don't stop. Don't stop, Ellie. Don't stop.
Thank you very much for your welcoming and for your kind words. And yeah, don't stop either to meet artists and so on. It's really great to receive a message and to, hey, wanna make an interview? That's really great. I checked yeah, the artists you interviewed and so on, and that's really cool. I'm really curious about their interviews too. So yeah, and thank you for your beautiful vibes. Nice
Oh, good.
meeting with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hopefully we can meet in the real life one day when COVID stops. We can play, we can tour. Could
We
be cool.
will. We will. Whether you come here or I go there, we'll figure it out. I have so many friends in Europe now that there's no reason why I shouldn't come. So we'll make that happen someday. I'm looking forward to that. But thank you for this time. Now make sure you go listen to Kate Bush, The Dreaming, and you'll love it. I promise you.
I will check this out. Yes.
I promise.
Cool.
I promise. Take care, Ellie. Thank you. Bye-bye.